So I'm curious when it comes to what you mentioned about being aware and questioning the thinking, because that's a heightened form of awareness, right? And we've never been trained in school, and most companies, 99% of the companies, aren't training their representatives and their people on how to think and how to powerfully think. So where does one begin when it comes to power thinking? Like if you have, let's say, a new salesperson, right? Where does one begin and beginning to incorporate these principles into their daily process?
Well, the first thing that we want to do is establish with folks that they do have the power to think differently. Many people come into a commission only sales situation uh, with the mindset that the way you generate income is you get a job and you show up every day, whether you're productive or not. It really doesn't matter because every 2 weeks you're going to get money going into your account. And so we have to let them, recognize that there's some deep-rooted beliefs that you have going back to when you were a kid, when your parents said, "Okay, I want you to get a good education, get a good job, and stay at that company until you retire." And
Mm.
this is dramatically different. You have to recognize that you have to change that mindset, and you have to be resilient. I have a chart that shows the day in the life of an entrepreneur, because essentially when you're a commission sales only salesperson, you're an entrepreneur. And so you have to recognize that with the average person over the course of 6 months, they're going to have some ups and downs, they're going to have some adversity. But take what an average person experiences over a 6 month period in their personal lives and their business life, um, and in terms of those ups and downs, and compress them into one day. That's what you, as an entrepreneur, as a commission only salesperson, is going to experience. So now we compound the level of ups and downs that the average person may have over a 6 month period, and compress that and compound it into one day. So what we want them to realize is that this is all about, when we talk about business, when we talk about sales, it is about bouncing back, because you're going to get more disappointments, more rejection than you would like. I mean, we, as human beings, want to be accepted, and we love it when people say yes to us and they accept us. And every time there is a no, and we've been conditioned from the time we're very young that no is not a good thing.
Yeah.
But when we're very young, we just persist and we keep asking, Mom, can I have a cookie? No. Okay, well, can I have a cookie? And they'll just keep coming back. Or they'll go to dad and they'll keep trying to. But then once we realize that no means no, it stays with us. And so when we hear that one no, or I'm not interested, it hurts a little bit. So we need to really instill these strengths of resilience and have people working on building these skills so they can get stronger in their ability to bounce back faster. And so what that amounts to was what Penn, as the University of Pennsylvania's positive psychology identified, Center for Positive Psychology identified as 7 inner strengths. So that if we're strong in these 7 areas, we will be able to bounce back faster from any adversity, not just rejection in sales, but setbacks in all aspects of our lives. And they are, number one, emotion regulation, and that is the ability to stay calm under pressure. That's huge, because how many people, first thing that happens, somebody hangs up, boom, now there's sadness or anger, there's emotion set in. That's just on one rejection.
Yeah. Or they pick
Yeah.
up and they're like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't have the time right now. Why are you calling me? So even in the moment, too, having that is a powerful skill.
Right. And so that's the strength we want to have. We also want to have great impulse control. And that's the ability not to say or do the first thing that comes to mind. And in the case of commission sales, for example, it's quitting. And for all of us, it's usually when things go bad, we quit, whether
Yeah.
it's, just kind of going into bed and not wanting to get up and face the world, or just saying, you know what, I'm out of here, out of this job, out of sales, out of a relationship. That's the impulse. Or you say something that you're going to regret to the significant other. The ability to control that impulse is absolutely key. Then there's empathy, the ability to understand another person's experiences and emotions. There's self-efficacy, the belief that you have control over your ability to add value to the world.
Mm.
And when we drill down deep, how many of us truly believe in ourselves? How about the people that accomplish great things? Many of them would say, oh, yes. Well, if you're getting up to make a speech, my parents told me that I could do anything. And they really believe that from young. And guess what happened? They they accomplished great things. There's optimism, the view that all things will ultimately have a positive outcome. There's causal analysis, a systematic way of drilling down to the root cause of what has gone wrong. And then finally, one of the most powerful of the inner strengths, the 7 inner strengths of resilience, is reaching out for help. That's taking that initiative to take action when faced with setbacks, or reaching out, texting someone, calling someone who can help, or in the case of struggling how to maybe figure out. The other day, I'm co-president of my class, University of Pennsylvania, and we were sending out a mass email. So I went into Gmail, and I know I have a contact list, and I want to put them in the BCC section so that other folks wouldn't when they do a reply all, they wouldn't go to everybody. And I thought, I did this a few months ago. How do I do it? So I'm fumbling around for 30 minutes trying to recall how I was able to get the contact list into the email, something seemingly simple. And then I said, you know what? Let me reach out to YouTube. And it was a 1-minute video. And I said, oh man, click this BCC, click it again. I'll have my choice of what contacts I want. Hit that, and I'm done. How many of us struggle because we're brought up to believe that we need to be smart enough and get smart enough to figure it out. We're rugged individualists. Just push through yourself and get it done. And now we're realizing that reaching out for help is actually a strength. It's not a weakness. And we're hearing that a lot more, especially as it relates to mental health and mental well-being. Folks, get help, reach out for help. Don't try to push through it yourself.